Good morning, everyone. My name is Jason Diamond, Solutions Consultant for Movable Ink based in the San Francisco Bay Area, as we were mentioning before, and welcome to Movable Ink's Demo Day. Today's content will be brought to you by various solutions consultants and solutions architects, bringing you a series of informative live demos that will cover hyper-strategic ways that marketers like yourselves can use the Movable Ink platform to drive value in this ever-changing landscape. So I wanted to quickly flash our faces on screen here. So these are your two presenters today, myself, Jason, and then of course, Matt, my teammate based out of Chicago. And then before we jump in, wanted to go over a few housekeeping rules. Today's webinar is live from Studio 8A in Rockefeller Plaza. Just kidding. We are from our homes in Chicago and the San Francisco Bay Area, but it is being recorded, so you'll be able to share this to your teammates that weren't able to join today. You can submit questions at any time through the QA chat box on the bottom right, and we'll answer as many as we can at the end of the presentation. So please make sure the audio is turned up on your computer or your headphones, and let's get started. Let me go ahead and flick through here. So today's demo on flexible solutions will showcase creative ways.
The demo environment just yet.
Oh, let me know when it's good to go.
No worries.
Can you see my screen yet, Matt? Can you
Not
confirm
yet.
that?
You might just have to get out of a full screen for PowerPoint. Just doing a quick F11 there.
F11. Let me just go ahead and quit that. How about now?
No, unfortunately, we're still on the title screen. Oh, wait.
I'm going to do a new desktop share. How about that? Let's go ahead and do that.
Fine.
Did that work?
Perfect. We are right on Incredibev, and I can see the screen right there. Perfect.
Amazing. Sarah, countdown timer looks good. Great. So quick agenda setting. So this demo on flexible solutions will showcase creative ways that your teams can deliver timely and relevant experience to your customers, even as the world around us continues to change. So let's go ahead and get started. So starting in Movable Ink's preview simulator, we have a promotional email for the incredible beverage company. Many folks on the line may be familiar with our ability to show or hide content. But for those that aren't, Movable Ink's dynamic content generation allows you to create flexible modules that will reflect messaging in real time. So Movable Ink's critical messaging app, which is free to all existing clients, can be utilized as an evergreen module that expands or collapses based on a geolocation or some type of parameter within your CRM. This is extremely useful for announcing store openings and closures in a specific area. So as we're seeing here, this banner will only show to customers in a given geolocation, informing them of the latest updates for a certain location or branch. So Sarah, in her hometown of Dublin Pleasanton, will be able to see that she's able to now shop in store. So pausing here to shift quickly over to our content tab. And again, for those unfamiliar with this area, this is where your marketing team builds out the personalized content blocks for an email. So hypothetically, let's say the state of Washington passes a new law, alcohol pickup in store is no longer allowed. Darn. So as a marketer for Incredibev, I need to shift my messaging quickly to let my Seattle customer base know that they can still take advantage of our no-touch delivery. So I'll quickly duplicate that, change the rule setting here for the state of Washington to reflect that.
And while Jason's doing that too, what you can see here on your screen right now are a variety of different states and locations that can be changed. You can edit and update the rules to different localities, different cities, and things of that nature. But Jason, go ahead and take it away for the studio interface as well.
Yeah, and again, I'm quickly opening up the Movable Ink Studio interface, which is where you can kind of change the layouts and edit the text. So I've quickly copied over that new message for the Washington state to let them know delivery is available in their area. And then hopping back into the preview simulator, let's go ahead and test out how that would look in the live email. So if Sarah is opening and visiting her folks out in Seattle, Washington, she would then know that alcohol is only available for delivery, which is very convenient for her, so she can just have it delivered straight to her parents' house who she's visiting.
And the same thing can happen in Chicago, Illinois, where I'm at right now. And what's great about this critical messaging banner too is that you can update it in real time as well as ever-present conditions are changing too. So if Chicago, Illinois lets you do some curbside pickup, some BOPIS pickup or anything like that, you absolutely have the leeway to let customers know versus what's going on in Seattle or going on in other territories as well.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for that, Matt. Cool. So the next piece, moving on down, this showcases Movable Ink's data sources. And this feature provides marketers with the power to dynamically tap into data sources like product APIs and power emails that display the latest in-stock inventory at their nearest location. And here with IncrediBev, we're geolocating the customer upon open and doing exactly that, while still providing your marketing team and your design team with the creative flexibility to create beautiful looking product grids. Two words that you would never describe for a product grid, but again, with Movable Ink, you're able to unlock that the data as well as tap into that creative freedom as well. So here we're also geolocating the products, so we're still in Dublin Pleasanton, but again, if Sarah is opening in the state of Washington, and if we do also know maybe some type of preference data as to which wines she's into, we are also able to tap into any piece of preference data on your customer and pull that into email in a more automated fashion. So here we're pulling in the imagery as well as the product name and the product price into the email in automated fashion and personalizing it on a one-to-one relationship.
Yeah, and Sarah and I have very similar tastes in wine. I definitely love a Chardonnay or a Sauvignon Blanc. And what's really great about this too is there's absolutely different ways that we can showcase these different products. As Jason mentioned, there's product grids, but we can also add maybe even instead of 2 products, adding 4 products, or essentially showing or hiding prices, or even with certain integrations, showing reviews. There's a lot of flexibility with the platform to do this, and then to hyper localize it to where Sarah's at in Seattle or where Jason's at in Pleasanton or anywhere the like.
Yeah, that's a great point, Matt. Again, you're not married to this design that we've designed here. We're not creative designers by any means, so you do have that flexibility within the studio interface, which we just showed, to maybe add a 3x1 product grid or a 2x2, maybe move the truck over to the right. You can really have that, again, creative freedom and flexibility when it comes to the design, and then also unlocking that data. Awesome. And then the next piece and the final use case highlights BOPIS, the polarizing acronym growing in popularity during this pandemic. So for those wondering what BOPIS means, it stands for Buy Online, Pick Up in Store. So here's another great example of IncrediBev tapping into a store locator API and using a customer's geolocation at the moment of open to display the closest IncrediBev location. So again, opening back up in Washington, thinking back to that hypothetical law, this module provides the IncrediBev marketers with that flexibility to tailor messaging to customers in a specific geo. So again, Sarah opening it at in her parents' neighborhood, and it's letting her know that this location on Holman Road is open, but only for delivery, and it's fast and convenient and super convenient for her. So another great way to stay nimble and agile when it comes to any state regulations that are changing on a constant basis, and you're able to, again, go right into the Movable Ink platform and have that flexibility.
And I think to add too, this is such a great use case for ever-changing laws with beverages, but if you're thinking about clothing and retail, right, what stores are available for in-store pickup or curbside pickup, what have the flexibility to do that? Same thing for restaurants. Do they do delivery? Do they do pickup? And then even for banking, do some locations have ATMs? Do some locations have different upgrades available, right? So this is a tool. You can think about the flexibility for incredible beverages, but also for a lot of other distinct categories as well.
Yeah, that brings up another great idea that I personally seen in my time as a client experience manager here at MI, where FinServ clients will use this particular piece for data sources to plug into an appointment setting API and display the latest available appointment times for their local branches. So of course, in-person reserving in store or in person is a kind of a big push point now with a lot of retailers and a lot of FinServ clients. So another great use case is tapping into something like an appointment setting API to reserve your time at your local branch.
Yeah, and a lot of our customers at MI and even our prospects as well have really had to push forward these technologies by need and by necessity, right? So what's really great about this is that we can leverage and tap into those technologies to update content in real time, and then even provide a really beautiful canvas that you can design and customize as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. And that kind of rounds out the demo portion today. So really short and sweet, but I do see some questions coming in through the chat. I think there's one around what if there is nothing, what if there's no store or location in my area? Matt, you want to read that one real quick?
Yeah, so I'm seeing a few questions. The first one rolling in, what if a store is closed or there isn't actually a store nearby?
Yeah, that's a great question. So let's say you are traveling or you're on vacation and you do want to maybe find the nearest IncrediBev store near you. But lo and behold, if you open up this email, you may not have a store location within, let's say, a 25 or 15-mile radius. Again, with the real-time nature of Movable Ink, the images will change as you kind of move around the country or move around your state or even in your region. And then the photo or the messaging, the image in the email will change at that moment of open or engagement to let you know that shopping online is still super convenient for delivery in the Phoenix, Arizona area in this case.
Perfect. It looks like we have another question here as well. What if a customer outside of their hometown and they're looking at their email while on vacation and they're looking? So I think this question is, what if we, if we don't necessarily have their home zip code or their home location, what can we do from there?
Yeah, I think that's a great dovetail as to the answer I was just going through, where if we don't have their postcode or their zip code on file like we would for Sarah in her hometown and her parents' hometown, we would be able to use the device's geolocation, we'd be able to geolocate you based on your device's IP address at that moment of open. So again, if I am traveling to Oregon, let's say, we would be able to geolocate myself, and then it would change to show that nearest location within the Portland, Oregon area.
Yeah, and that adds a lot of great flexibility for what you may want to do. So, thinking about when you're at your restaurant, maybe we know a restaurant location that or a customer frequents at the most, right? We can identify that as their home location or their favorite spot. So even showing that personal relevance to the location from their home might be really compelling. Mm-hmm. Looks like we have another question as well. So this is in regards to the product API for the Cabernet. Mm-hmm. So when plugging into a product API, are we able to filter products by specific category? It's a really good question.
Yeah, absolutely. And this kind of speaks to the versatility and, again, flexibility. That's the theme of today's demo of Movable Ink's platform. So we are able to really tap into any data source and unlock that data in a really impactful and meaningful way and answer the filtering question. So yes, you do have a couple avenues you can take. So one would be tapping into your client experience team if you are a current client and speaking with your solutions engineers on that side as well to create kind of a custom application or a bespoke application that filters through all of those different parameters, those categories, those different types of products. And then there's another kind of more timely way where you can learn a little bit more about that. I'm going to flash over to the agenda screen here today. So this is the Rethink agenda. So right after this demo, I wanted to really plug that. We have how to sort and filter APIs and data sources led by Juan Luna and Justin Keller, other folks on the Solutions Consulting team as well. So right after this, grab a coffee and hop into that if you want to learn a little bit more. But yeah, long answer short is yes, we are able to kind of really tailor the filtering for those APIs into your emails and your customers' emails.
Yeah, and I, just to kind of add to that as well, I think that, our client experience team, when working with us, we'll get you there along the way. So if you have a creation idea that you want to see from A to B to Z, ultimately they can help you out and give you the proper steps and work with you. So it's not necessarily you doing this on your own. Of course, you have a Movable Ink team for support. Now, that being said, I have a question here from the audience. I'm looking. I have two questions, actually. So I'm looking for a solution to pull in product and customer reviews. The easy thing I considered is a web crop off our reviews page. However, that could possibly pull in negative reviews.
Sure.
So I think and then the second thought was using the product review API. But again, are there rules to be put in place that would filter out negative reviews that are displaying? That's such a great question. Jason, you want to take?
Yeah, absolutely. And feel free to add any color to Matt. But in the with the clients that I've worked with in the past, typically they'll leverage some type of third-party vendor like a Bazaar Voice, a Trustpilot. And the great thing about Movable Ink is we do have a partnerships team that has built great relationships with those companies, with those vendors. So those vendors usually have some type of moderation already happening on their end, and then from there we can tap into an API that says only pull in 5-star reviews that are 3 lines or less. That way, it's not a super long paragraph in an email. So yeah, we can again set up those rules within the API and filter based on those moderation values, or if you will, that are put in place by those vendors.
Yeah, and I think that's such a great point too in regards to what Movable Ink can do with third-party APIs as well as even first-party APIs. So if you want to, as I mentioned from the previous question, just filter for white wines versus red wines, or just filter for 5- and 4-star reviews, or even if you have social curated UGC like an Olapic or a Curate where you're populating Instagram posts. If you just want to show the post from Instagram versus Twitter, there's a lot of things that Movable Ink can do to further filter their results.
Yeah, absolutely. And then a quick time check. Want to give people some time to do a little stretch break and maybe grab a coffee before our next session. But one last question, and then we can kind of sign off here. Anything else on your end, Matt?
Yeah, actually, one last question from the audience as well. This is from Emma. We're looking at pulling in Instagram posts. Obviously, we're comfortable with pulling in our own posts, but there's reluctance to pull in posts based on a hashtag if they're coming from the public. Is there any way to filter UGC? That is such a great question. Yeah, Jason, I'm happy to add color, but do you want to take that?
Yeah. Again, it's a very similar answer to the previous one on review. So we do integrate with the Olapics and the Curates of the world, and maybe any other UGC third-party vendors out there. And that's kind of on the external side. But out of the box, Movable Ink Instagram application, we are only pulling from your kind of branded page. So if there is an Incredibev Instagram page, we're not pulling necessarily from the public page. So that kind of eliminates any risk of any not safe for work, if you will, posts coming in from that hashtag, because we are only pulling from an already moderated source, the Incredibev account, and pulling those into email.
Yeah, I think that's a great, and not too much to add to there, but that's absolutely the case. So we could filter through, hashtags that your team would want to filter through, but also great way to test as well, right? Testing your own content from the Incredibev Instagram page versus UGC might be really compelling too.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And yeah, I think we're at 1 minute left. So Jason, any parting thoughts before we kind of close on this session?
No, I think we're good. Thanks everyone for the time. It was really, really fun to kind of walk the audience through everything today on flexible solutions, and continue to enjoy the Rethink content, and we hope to hear from you soon.
Thank you so much, everybody.
All right, thanks.